Imagine if, starting today, you could never use words again. No speaking, no writing, no way to express your thoughts. How long before your mind itself begins to feel trapped? How would you describe happiness without the word for it? How would you set goals, define dreams, or even understand who you are? Now consider this. If words have the power to define your reality, then doesn't it follow that the words you use every day shape the world you live in? What if your thoughts, your emotions, and even your future are being guided silently, controlled by the language you choose? This is not just a theory. It is a profound truth backed by ancient wisdom and modern science. And in the next few minutes, we are going to dive deep into the hidden power of words. We will uncover how language shapes our emotions, influences our beliefs, and even determines what we think is possible. Most importantly, by the end of this journey, you will discover one life-changing realization about words that will transform the way you think forever. But before we get there, we need to answer a fundamental question. What is reality? At first glance, reality seems like something objective, something outside of us. Facts, events, things that exist independently of our perception. But is that really true? If two people witness the same event, but describe it in completely different ways, which version is real? If one person calls a situation a disaster, while another sees it as an opportunity, which one is correct? The truth is, reality is not just what happens, is how we interpret what happens, and that interpretation is built entirely from the words we use. This idea is not new. It has been understood for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations believed words had the power to shape existence itself. In many cultures, naming something was believed to give it power. Bible says, "In the beginning was the Word," suggesting that words are not just a way to describe reality, but a force that creates it. In Egyptian mythology, knowing the secret name of a god or a person was said to grant control over them. And in many indigenous traditions, words are seen as sacred tools, capable of healing or destruction, depending on how they are spoken. But beyond philosophy and mythology, modern science has confirmed that language is more than just a tool for communication. It is a framework for perception. In the 20th century, linguist Benjamin Hoff introduced the concept of linguistic relativity, also known as the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. This theory suggests that the language we speak directly shapes how we think and perceive the world. A striking example of this can be found in how different cultures describe colors. Some languages have multiple words for different shades of blue, while others have only one word to describe all shades of blue and green. As a result, speakers of those languages literally perceive colors differently. In other words, the words available to us define the boundaries of what we can see, think, and understand. Now, let's bring this concept down to a personal level, your everyday life. Have you ever noticed how changing just one word in a sentence can completely alter its meaning? Consider these two statements. I have to go to work. I get to go to work. One suggests an obligation, a burden. The other implies gratitude and opportunity. The only difference? A single word. Your inner dialogue, the words you use when you talk to yourself, shapes your mindset, emotions, and ultimately your actions. If you constantly tell yourself, "I am terrible at this," or "I always fail," you reinforce a belief that limits you. But if you change your words, you change your beliefs. Saying, "I am still learning," instead of "I am bad at this," shifts your perception from failure to growth. The change might seem small, but its impact on your psychology is enormous. This influence extends beyond individuals. It shapes entire societies. Think about the words used in media, politics, and advertising. The same event can be framed in completely different ways. A financial crisis can be called a catastrophe or an adjustment. A law can be described as protective or restrictive. The words chosen shape public perception, guide emotions, and ultimately influence decisions on a massive scale. This is the power of words. They are not just labels. They are reality-shaping forces that dictate what we see, what we feel, and what we believe is possible. So, how do we take back control? How do we become masters of our language rather than slaves to it? In the next section, we will uncover a powerful technique used by great thinkers, leaders, and visionaries to reshape their inner and outer worlds through the mastery of words. But before we get there, take a moment to reflect on what words have been shaping your reality without you even realizing it. If words shape the way we see the world, then learning to use them intentionally is one of the most powerful skills we can develop. But here's the problem. Most people are completely unaware of how language is shaping their reality. Speak without thinking, repeat phrases they have absorbed from others, and allow negative words to control their emotions, actions, and even their destiny. To understand how deep this influence goes, consider the way language structures our thoughts. Studies in cognitive psychology have shown that our brains don't just think in abstract ideas, we think in words. The vocabulary we use defines the range of our thoughts. If a concept does not exist in our language, it becomes almost impossible for us to grasp it fully. This is why learning new words often leads to new insights and perspectives. George Orwell explored this idea in his novel 1984, where a totalitarian government controls the population by manipulating language. In the book, the government creates newspeak, a simplified language designed to eliminate words that could encourage independent thinking. The goal was simple: if people don't have the words to express rebellion, they won't even be able to conceive of it. This might seem like fiction, but the concept is very real. Throughout history, powerful institutions have used language to influence and control entire populations. Think about how this applies to your own life. Alerts you are exposed to on a daily basis through news, social media, and conversations, shaping your worldview in ways you might not even realize. When you constantly hear negative words, your brain begins to filter reality through that negativity. If you are told repeatedly that the world is dangerous, you will start to see danger everywhere. If you hear that success is only for the lucky or privileged, you might start to believe that no matter how hard you try, you will never succeed. But the reverse is also true. If you surround yourself with empowering language, your perspective shifts. The words you choose to focus on can rewire your brain for resilience, confidence, and growth. This is why many of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders are extremely mindful of the language they use, both in their external communication and in their internal self-talk. So, how do we harness this power? For ourselves? How do we shift our language to create a better reality? The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to the words you use every day. Listen to how you describe yourself, your abilities, and your experiences. Do you say things like, "I always mess things up," or "I'm not good at this"? If so, you are reinforcing a limiting belief through your own language. Instead, try shifting your words. "I am improving," or "I am learning." These small changes reprogram your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations. The second step is conscious choice. Once you are aware of your words, start choosing them intentionally. Instead of saying, "I have to," say, "I get to." Instead of calling a challenge a problem, call it an opportunity. Instead of saying, "This is impossible," ask, "How can I make this possible?" These subtle shifts may seem minor, but their long-term impact on your mindset is profound. The third step is emotional connection. Words are not just intellectual. They carry emotional weight. Some words make us feel weak, while others make us feel powerful. This is why affirmations and motivational speeches work. They attach strong emotions to empowering words, reinforcing positive beliefs at a deep psychological level. If you tell yourself every day, I am strong, I am capable, and I am resilient, you are rewiring your brain for confidence and success. But this is not just about self-improvement. It is about shaping your entire reality. The way you speak to others also influences how they see themselves and how they respond to you. A single encouraging word can change someone's day. A well-chosen phrase can inspire action. Leaders throughout history have used words to ignite revolutions, bring about social change, and inspire greatness. Our words have the same potential. In the next section, we will dive even deeper into the mechanics of how words shape not just our thoughts, but even our biology. You will discover how language affects your brain chemistry, stress levels, and even your body's ability to heal. And most importantly, we will explore the one crucial linguistic shift that can completely transform your life. But before we get there, take a moment to reflect. What words have you been speaking into your life? And are they building the reality you want? Language is not just a tool for communication. It is a force that actively shapes the way your brain functions. The words you think and speak have a direct impact on your emotions, your stress levels, and even your physical well-being. This is not just a philosophical idea. It is a scientific fact. Neuroscientists have discovered that words can literally rewire your brain. Every time you repeat a word or phrase, you strengthen neural pathways associated with that thought. Over time, these pathways become automatic. This is why negative self-talk can be so destructive. It programs your brain to default to limiting beliefs. If you constantly tell yourself, I am not good enough, your brain strengthens that belief, making it harder for you to see your own potential. But the opposite is also true. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I am capable, you begin to reshape your identity and build confidence. The science behind this lies in a phenomenon called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself based on experience. Studies show that positive language stimulates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, problem-solving, and emotional regulation. When you use empowering words, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which enhance mood, motivation, and focus. On the other hand, negative language activates the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Words associated with stress, doubt, or failure trigger the release of cortisol, the hormone responsible for anxiety and tension. This means that simply thinking or hearing negative words can put your brain into a state of stress, reducing creativity, impairing memory, and making it harder to find solutions. Now, consider how this plays out in daily life. If you wake up and the first thing you say is, "This is going to be a terrible day," your brain immediately goes into stress mode. It's looking for evidence to confirm that belief. But if you start your morning with, "Today is a new opportunity," you prime your brain to focus on possibilities instead of problems. This is why affirmations are so powerful. When you repeat positive statements about yourself, you are not just hoping for a better mindset, you are literally rewiring your brain. The key, however, is emotional intensity. Simply saying words without feeling them will not create change. But when you attach strong emotions to positive words, your brain encodes them more deeply. This is why motivational speeches and powerful storytelling move people. They create an emotional response that makes words feel real, but words do not just affect our internal state. They also influence the people around us. The way we speak to others has a profound effect on their emotions, motivation, and even their biology. Studies in psycholinguistics show that hearing encouraging words can lower stress hormones and increase confidence. In contrast, harsh or critical language can trigger a stress response, shutting down creativity and problem-solving abilities. Think about the power of a single sentence. A teacher who tells a student, "You have so much potential," can inspire them to push harder and achieve more. A leader who says, "We will find a way," can instill hope and determination in a team. Conversely, a parent who constantly says, "You will never succeed," can plant seeds of self-doubt that last a lifetime. This is why the words we choose matter so much. They shape our relationships, influence our decisions, and determine how we face challenges. But if words have this much power, then the most important question we can ask ourselves is this: how can we use language to create the reality we truly want? The answer lies in conscious linguistic programming, the deliberate practice of using words to construct a positive and empowering worldview. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending problems do not exist. It is about choosing language that opens possibilities instead of closing them. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I haven't mastered this yet." Instead of saying, "This is impossible," ask, "What is the first step toward making this happen?" These subtle shifts create a mindset of growth and resilience. Another powerful technique is reframing. Reframing is the practice of changing the way we describe a situation to alter its impact. Imagine you lose your job. You could say, "This is a disaster," which triggers stress and panic. Or you could say, "This is an opportunity to find something even better," which shifts your brain into problem-solving mode. The situation has not changed, only the words have. But those words determine how you respond. Now, let's take this one step further. What if the ultimate key to controlling your reality through words was not just about the words you say, but the words you refuse to say? In the final section, we will reveal the single most powerful linguistic shift that can completely transform your life, a shift so profound that it has been used by great thinkers, spiritual leaders, and visionaries throughout history. Final realization will change not only how you speak, but how you experience the world itself. But before we get there, ask yourself, what words have been shaping your world, and are you ready to take control of them? Throughout history, the greatest thinkers, leaders, visionaries have understood one fundamental truth. The words we use do not just describe reality, they create it. And if we want to change our lives, we must begin by changing our language. But here's the most important secret of all. It's not just about adding new words to your vocabulary. It's about eliminating the words that are keeping you trapped. Some words weaken you. They strip you of power, rob you of confidence, and keep you stuck in cycles of limitation. They create invisible barriers in your mind, shaping your identity in ways you do not even realize. And if you are not careful, they will control your future before you even have a chance to change it. So, what are these words? Let's start with one of the most damaging: I can't. The moment you say, "I can't," you shut down possibility. Your brain no longer looks for solutions, it accepts defeat before the battle has even begun. But the truth is, most of the time when we say, "I can't," what we really mean is, "I don't know how yet," or "I am afraid to fail." The solution: replace "I can't" with "How can I?" This simple shift forces your brain to search for possibilities instead of obstacles. Next, let's talk about another word that silently destroys potential. Try. Think about it. What happens when someone says, "I will try to do it"? It leaves room for failure before they even begin. Saying "I will try" is a way of avoiding commitment. It is a soft excuse, a hidden escape route. Instead, replace "I will try" with "I will." There is power in decisiveness. "I will find a way" creates a completely different reality than "I will try to find a way." But perhaps the most deceptive and dangerous words of all are the ones that create identity traps. Words like, "I am just not good at this," or "That's just the way I am." These statements lock you into a fixed mindset. They define you by your past instead of your potential. The reality is, you are constantly evolving. You're not bad at something. You're just in the process of learning it. You are not stuck in your ways. You are capable of transformation. The words you attach to your identity shape what you believe is possible for yourself. So, instead of saying, I am not good at this, say, I am improving every day. Instead of saying, I am just an anxious person, say, I am learning to manage my emotions. These small changes reshape your self-image and open the door to growth. And here's the final, most powerful linguistic shift of all. Stop focusing on what you don't want and start speaking about what you do want. Most people go through life saying things like, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be alone, or I don't want to fail. But the brain does not process negation the way we think it does. When you say, I don't want to be stressed, your mind still focuses on stress. When you say, I don't want to feel insecure, your brain still latches onto insecurity. Instead, shift your language toward positive outcomes. Instead of, I don't want to be broke, say, I am building financial abundance. Instead of, I don't want to fail, say, I am committed to learning and growing. Instead of, I don't want to feel anxious, say, I am creating peace in my life. This change is subtle, yet powerful, but life-altering. Your brain moves toward the things you focus on. The more you speak about the reality you desire, the more your subconscious mind begins to align with that vision. And over time, the words you choose will literally reshape your destiny. So, let's bring this full circle. It began with a simple but powerful idea. Words control your reality. And now, you understand exactly how they do it. Words shape perception. They influence emotion. They rewire your brain, impact your actions, and define what you believe is possible. But the greatest power of all, you get to choose your words. Starting today, you have the ability to reshape your world one word at a time. You can break free from limiting beliefs. You can reprogram your mind for success. You can use language as a tool for growth, empowerment, and transformation. So here is your challenge. Pay attention to the words you speak, both out loud and in your mind. Notice when negative language is holding you back. Begin replacing disempowering phrases with ones that open doors instead of closing them. And, most importantly, start speaking about the life you want, not the life you fear, because at the end of the day, the words you choose are shaping your future. And now, you hold the power to shape it intentionally. Thanks for looking.